Arcane Season 2, Episode 9, final episode. Glad to see she's still around. Send it home, Season 2 music composers. If only Vi were here and not having sex. God. Oh, she burned the chair. This is not so bleak or all bleak. I can find a silver lining in this, I think, if I try really hard. Breakdowns can be good. Okay, well, stop playing with that. This is awful. You can close it. Put the lid on it. Okay, whoa. Okay. Oh, yes! Of course. Of course. Wow, she actually did it. If it wasn't for that time machine. Nope. Damn, you gotta be quick with that trigger finger on that time machine.
Always a dance
yeah,
with you.
There's no silver lining here except that Ekko is here.
I think
Ekko is the silver lining.
Sit here a minute. I'll catch my breath. See if I can talk an old friend out of blowing us up.
Damn, man, Ekko is just so great. Not once did he even consider staying in that fantasy land because he knows what his responsibilities are and he knows where he's most needed. And one thing I love about that speech to much more friendly Powder is that he spent that time with Powder. He waded through the sadness of the whole thing and all the regrets and mistakes. And he used that as a reaffirmation of who he is and what he wants to do. That line, "I gave up on you." It was such a nice way of taking ownership of the situation, avoiding the obvious trap that I think a lot of characters fall into in the show and in life of being tricked of that seductively warm, comfortable place of, oh, I'm so terrible and everything's so bad. I'm just a failure. I don't deserve anything good. It was more like, there's more that I could do. And so it ends up feeling positive. And here he is.
I'm tired of talking.
No!
You also do not have a lot of time. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's a lot.
No matter what happened in the past, it's never too late to build something new.
That's the silver lining I was hoping for. The letting go of
someone worth
all the stuff before. Like we're doing what Vi couldn't because she's busy having sex. In her sister's jail cell. By the way, I do actually really love that scene. I don't think this is intentional, but like it ends up being very Vi. The lack of impulse control, the poor decision making, or I guess more specifically to her character, being very close to making the right decision and then veering off at the last second. And she did try. She made the effort, but a little bit of follow through there would have been nice.
Victor's at the center of all this, isn't he?
Yes and no. Hard to say at this point. I mean, I think the extent to which Victor is at the center of it is the extent to which we have a chance.
Then we'd best stop him.
This episode's gonna cliffhanger, isn't it? She can be a great hero in this scenario. This is very, very Game of Thrones. This is wild. This feels like such a much larger scale than anything we've seen in this show so far. That sucks after seeing her turn around, get off that bus. She's just on the front lines herself? That's wild. This is crazy. That's too much. Why is she so strong? She just blocked a sniper bullet. Looks like they did like 1 HP, 10 HP. You should probably take that thing out. That's my brilliant wartime strategy advice. Oh no! What the? I did not see that coming. Damn, he went out so abruptly. Also, if you can take out Victor, not that that would be easy, you would eliminate a lot of them through the hive mind phenomenon, no? Yeah, this is so cool, this whole thing. They put so much into this whole sequence. Nice. Oh no, the gas. Damn. I have a really bad feeling about this though. Oh. I think I can sort of guess where this is going. Okay. Well, that means she's probably gonna live. I think her friend probably just sacrificed himself. Oh, they captured him. But if you can pull the pin out, does this still detonate? Whoa. What was that? Damn, she's glorious. She always does make everything look so cool. What? I never trusted you. I'm actually shocked, if I'm being honest. Guile, the third law of power. Oh, it was maybe the chest pumping. It was the chest pumping that converted her like it converted all of us.
I warned you of the hazards of professional entanglement.
Oh, she did too.
Desperation is the doorway to a.
And she's still teaching. That makes it hurt all the worse. Okay, alright. This is not fatal yet. The gun would be fatal though.
I did appreciate your warmth.
Oh, who just did that? Damn, Maddie did have a character arc. For a while there I was thinking she might be sidelined. Okay, alright. Did she deliberately do that ricochet? That was amazing.
Spare their lives. There is nothing to gain from this senseless bloodshed.
Okay, I understand the attempt, but I think at this point...
Still a fox. Soldier.
I kind of wanted to see that without interruption, because that I think would make clear where her priorities are, though I already have my suspicions. I think the family thing is real, but I think she also hides under the guise of family to do what comes natural to her anyway, which is following a thirst for power and awe-inspiring glory, at which she's very successful. I don't think she's fully in control of herself. I think more than is comfortable to admit, it's not like we're one person. And that's true very zoomed out, but at a hands-on level, sometimes it feels more like a scattered collection of entities working through the same body. I mean, very simply, that's why it's possible to disappoint yourself. That's the importance of the meta skill of awareness, but they're still related, and one of the insidious elements of that relationship sometimes, well, we like to think our choices and actions and emotions follow our thoughts. Sometimes our thoughts and our rationales follow the feelings or emotions. And so we write stories or write narratives for why the current course of action we're on is the right one, when really the reasoning is sort of just bending to your whim. I'm not saying at all that Ambessa doesn't deeply care about her daughter, but I don't think that's the whole story as she tells herself. I'm doing this for you is a very easy sort of way to write everything off. All that being said, she's like become one of my favorite characters because she's just so cool. Okay, we are here. Now we're coming here to help. It's amazing. It's helpful gas this time. Oh, the return of the hoverboards. Wow, wow. Who would have thought we would see the day? I'm glad though. Damn, Ekko just took that out like it was nothing while on a hoverboard. Is there anything this man cannot do? Oh, please don't let anything bad happen to Ekko. Oh! Is it a bomb? That's what it is. It makes sense. Or not. That was amazing. Is she alone? I'm confused about what this rock thing is. I thought it was a rock, then I thought it was a bomb. Now it looks like an egg. It was a priceless Ming vase. And Ambessa was already moving her things into the capital in the middle of the war.
Where is Victor?
Oh, it was a decoy. Oh, that was supposed to be Victor's cocoon. Okay. They were smuggling Victor in a priceless Ming vase. He looks great.
Despite the circumstances, Jace, I am pleased to see you.
That's somewhat reassuring, actually.
Must be some part of you
Yeah,
stuck
that's
in there.
what I'm looking for. I think there is. Oh yeah, they weren't even using their best weapons yet. And there he is, finally. Oh, are they converting them?
Mother, look at the price of your ambition.
What price? It's expensive, but I mean, look at what she's buying. She'd never be satisfied, though.
You are no Madada.
You remember.
Oh, let her talk a little bit. What? No, okay. I would rather her talk, but it was about to get interesting in the conversation. Remember your what? I don't know, just beating her even solve the problem. Yeah, this sucks. This is terrible. especially after how close we were. Maybe there's some of him left in there too. Another Vi in the air shot. Good, this is great. This is great. Two of them together. Another Vi in the air shot. Just feels so much better when Ekko's around. I hope this scene ends with her winning and then saying out of nowhere, "This is the principle of combat." She's just soloing them 2-on-1. God, she's such a badass. Okay. Patiently waiting for the aftermath.
People deserve to choose their own fates.
Choice is false.
Interesting.
Death, war, prejudice, energy spent only to consume itself. But we can be of one mind. United.
Very Evangelion. Sounds a bit lonely. Fast forward to Victor on a beach crying. It always rubs me the wrong way when an end to cruelty or wrongdoing is used as a justification for cruelty and wrongdoing. I will always reject that in any form that it takes. Secondly, I'll make a concession to Victor. I don't know if people deserve to choose is really the crux of it. I think Victor is right to an extent that choice is an illusion. It actually goes back to what I was saying earlier about how we come up with all sorts of rationales after the fact, though it feels like it happens beforehand, to explain away things we're doing just because we're compelled to do them by emotions and drives that are emerging unknown to us from our subconscious. But that doesn't mean choice is impossible. I think it's not a yes or no thing. It's more of a spectrum where I don't think it's possible to reach the final point of like maximal choice. But there are definitely degrees of awakeness, let's call it. It's not easy to understand why you do all the things that you do, what you're really serving. Like the poorly received Matrix sequels, there's always another Matrix. Thinking you've escaped the Matrix is a design of the Matrix to keep you trapped in the Matrix. So it's very difficult not to get stuck on any given level for a very long time. But all that aside, that's obviously not all there is to it. The fact that we are so heavily influenced by base instincts does not mean that base instincts are the sum total of humanity. And even the pain and suffering and death and missteps sort of begs the question that nobody really wants to ask of why those things exist in the first place. And I don't think those things are intrinsically human. I think those things come as a function of a world, a universal system that is trying to grow in limited resources. It's not our fault that we were put here fighting for our survival with death always as a very real and very easy possibility. Our deepest instincts come for that fight for survival out of the dirt. So that is not our fault, though it is our responsibility. And that responsibility and the ability to see past that and to move past that is one of the things that makes humanity so great and beautiful. I mean, even Victor himself, even all this that he's talking about, it comes out of the ingenuity of humans. Though this sounds like a cold robotic way to put it, there is always a sacrificial cost to doing anything. It's equivalent exchange in Full Metal Alchemist. You can't cheat it. And the systems that go awry and cause terrible things to happen, whether it's through freak accident or human choices, it's a mistake, I think, to look at that in a vacuum. It's a warped application of the things that give us life. And the answer isn't to destroy humanity, which this basically is, except for presumably Victor, who will be at the helm and therefore sacrifice nothing that he's requiring others to sacrifice. This is a way extreme and oversimplified version of this thought pattern. But you know what's an easy way to eliminate human suffering? Just kill every human. Zeke in Attack on Titan is in that vicinity. Let's say you eliminate humanity in one way or the other, whether it's actual death or hive mind or just some kind of numbing, like in Brave New World where they all take the ambrosia. Is that not a net loss of creation? Is it not a net loss of potential? What does progress mean in this case? Progress is one of those words that people love to throw around without being able to define it. And I think maybe what solves that problem is framing it not in terms of progress, because then you would need to dictate an end goal, but instead as potential. And Victor's plan is just an all-out death of potential. Why am I low-key rooting for Mesa? I really shouldn't be, but I'm in big-time awe of her. This is the principle of combat. That's interesting, because that went differently than how these scenes often go. There's the classic thing of you lose during training but win in the actual fight. I finally surpassed you, all that.
You fought well, child.
Oh, she's done teaching her.
Now!
Oh, she removed her thing. Her thingies.
A wolf has no mercy.
This is poetic.
I salute you, Ambassador. For one without the gift, you were quite a thorn.
Damn right she was. Oh, I'm coming in.
I see your face, deceiver. sly girl.
Turn it into her own. Oh, she used that to take out the rose enemy. Okay, well now you don't need to do this then, Bessa, do you? You're free now. I'm so proud of you. What? Not now. We just had made it okay. Wow, in the final second we got Mother's approval. This is tragic, weirdly, even though she's awful. And at least her last moments were acknowledgement and pride in her daughter. And even her death is in the most glorious, epic framing. Look at this. What's interesting now is I feel like we've even moved past the point where we need Vi to rescue Powder or to pick her up.
I'm always with you.
She's
Even when we're worlds
come into that on her own. I guess we're going with Victor. This is humiliating.
Vander.
There's still some hope for Vander. Not with that thing on, though. Okay, alright. We've yet to defeat any one of these things, right? Cool. Yeah, I don't think you have any tools right now. You're in Victor's world. Even though this is going terribly, the back-to-back of Powder and Vi was spectacular. I mean, I think maybe in hindsight, the answer is that it's not that Vi wasn't saving Powder or didn't want to save Powder, but just that she couldn't. Like, she wasn't capable of it yet. She was going on her own journey and was not standing in a strong enough spot herself to extend any kind of stable hand. But experience sort of worked that out for both of them. And then both Vi and Powder go on their separate journeys and end up standing side by side. As they say, time carries most of the weight. Where are you taking me? Oh, we're here. That explains it. What do you want to show me? The roof? Yes, look at all this progress.
Do you see?
I see the things that you're showing me. I mean, I think it's a lot more order than he's allowing for. Oh, you could dodge them? Oh. This just puts it all on Jace, I guess. And Ekko. Ekko's not puppeted yet. Ekko gotta do everything himself, I swear. Oh, oh, we're here. This is that place. And this is where we lost. What do you do differently? See, isn't this great? Don't you like this?
This is what you see.
Perfect. I mean, it's beautiful.
This senseless waste.
There is senseless waste, and it hurts.
They want better lives, but emotion clashes with reason.
It hurts, yes.
Self-corrupting contradiction.
You can't separate it, though. It's not fair to look at one in a vacuum. Where do you think the higher cognition comes from? People do this all the time with all sorts of things, where things are going really well, and you look at the things going well, and you say, look at all the evils in the system that we live in. Why don't we just destroy the whole system? Missing the fact that it's that very system that gave you the legs to stand on in the first place, the comfort you have to launch that critique to begin with. You don't get to have humanity. You don't get to have consciousness in the way that we know it without the animal origins. It's one and the same thing. You don't get to enjoy a good life or enjoy anything without, for one, human pleasure receptors. It's really tough for me to say what's good and bad because even in a time where we live in the most luxury or possible luxury and comfort at any time in history, probably better than any of our ancestors ever thought was possible. Yet it seems like a lot of people are worse off, though that's of course really tough to measure. But if I had to wager a guess of what the components would actually look like for something like human progress, it wouldn't be becoming a rock or a robot or an alien hunting the universe for bananas. And instead it would be leading all the way into some higher potential realizing version of being a human. And what I think that would look like, things actually to focus on, would be one, something we've already been doing? Getting scarcity as close to zero as possible. So like extremely easy and abundant, near zero cost of food, shelter, anything that removes a pain point of focus or time or energy or scarcity that creates conflict. And actually, I think we've done an amazing job of that. That is the trajectory we're on, though there's still a long way to go. The other part of that, which I know we're capable of, but I think we've sort of gotten away from in the pursuit of the first one, is meaning. Some sort of unified vision of the significance and importance of one's existence and the vital importance of striving for greatness and potential and aligning that with values. I mean, I think if you do that well enough, the values are sort of forced there. You have to follow the values to meet that. Like how Hinata has to learn the best form of volleyball to achieve his dreams of winning in volleyball. Removing the scarcity element of it eliminates a lot of the major contention points. If everybody has what they want in abundance, materially, the energy can be focused elsewhere. Critically, this is not the same thing as forced equality. Forced material equality only really works at the end game, where we've reached that functionally zero cost. Otherwise, forced equality runs the risk of actually being negative production-wise. It's possible it adds to scarcity or diminishes the infrastructural improvements we need to get closer and closer to zero scarcity. We're not at that point yet. And then the meaning part of it actually gives people something greater and more important to focus on that imbues with them a natural sense of responsibility as something that is deeply felt, because humans do need something to strive for, and if they don't have something good to strive for, they will strive for something, and that very well may be, as we often see, I think, creating conflict unnecessarily to have something to do, or to try to rise up some sort of more toxic, more destructive, or unreasonable ladder of value or meaning, and instead have something that makes people actually feel connected and significant in what I think is a very objectively real and accessible way. And that responsibility, by necessity, requires a lot more goodness. I think for a long time we had a very imperfect form of meaning, where it was something dictated by God, and then that kind of ate itself, and then the solution was sort of this void of connection to what really matters, just something bigger than oneself, of which one is this sort of beautiful angel of a great universal purpose. And so yeah, there's pain and it sucks and there's waste and we're gonna get it wrong, much like a lot of the characters in the show, but there is a much higher thread to follow. It's emerging even in Arcane. The characters try. I mean, the show even tries to go there, like nothing really matters, but the characters can't help it and the show can't help it. They can't help but find a common thread or hit on it if they actually are trying to look at things honestly and not distract themselves and not numb their senses and not look for easy outs and not make excuses. That, I think, is how you help humanity. It's not by wiping out their consciousnesses. You add to the pool of resources for our physical body, or you add to the pool of meaning for our spiritual. You don't turn people into robot slaves.
You've always wanted to cure what you thought were weaknesses. Your leg. Your disease. But you were never broken, Victor. There is beauty in imperfections. They made you who you are.
That's a tricky one, though. That's dicey. But yeah, there's beauty in that, too. Yeah, going to fight God on his hoverboard. Wow. That's not how I was hoping that would go. But I think it has to sort of come with a revelation. It can't just be, or your time machine. Spoke too soon. I was going to say some kind of, emotional or moral revelation. But no, it's Ekko. But yeah, but I think it has to be Jason Victor's conversation. It would be more satisfying. Yeah, it's too late. It's been 4 seconds. That's frustrating. Oh, but if you can't keep doing it too much, right? Oh, he's pushing it. You shouldn't push it. He actually did it.
That device can't be.
It is. He just realized something very significant. Maybe it's Victor himself in his fully conscious, elevated state that introduced the time thing in the first place. Maybe that's his way of trying to fix things.
I thought I wanted us to give magic to the world. Now, all I want is my partner back.
There's the heart.
Why do you persist? After everything I've done.
Because I promised you.
Oh, this is perfect. So, does that mean... Yeah, it is him. Does that mean Victor saved Jace as a child, too?
But when every equation was solved, all that remained...
He did.
Were fields of dreamless solitude.
Right. I mean, yeah, just turning everyone into rocks, essentially.
There is no prize to perfection. Only an end to pursuit.
Right.
Only you. can show me this.
It had to be him. It's okay, Victor. I know you're scared and hurt. It's a lot to take in. It's been a big day.
You must go, Jace.
Do what you gotta do to set this right. And he completes the circle.
We finish this together.
Aww. This is unbelievable. They did it. I mean, they also did it. They completed their mission together. But like so much more than they intended. Shoulder pad, head touch. They have no idea. Jace has a lot to explain. God, I'm shocked Tavika survived this long. Oh good, that means Vander. Vander's surely okay now. Wow, this is actually not gonna cliffhanger? This is amazing. I can't believe this resolution. It's so great. It's so beautiful. The Victor J stuff is really touching. I mean, God, they've been through so much together. And they didn't know what they were doing, really. They didn't know what they were setting out for in the beginning. And they were naive and in some danger. But I think what Jay said, I think maybe it's exactly that. I mean, it's both. It's the material and the emotional, the spiritual. One without the other is meaningless. At heart, I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to improve technology to help people's lives. But there was the grounding. There's the actual meaning. You're my friend, and I love you. As a human loves a friend, and I made a promise to you. And I'm not throwing away the things that are actually important and of value on a heartfelt level for lofty aspirations of what gadgets we can create. Thankfully, it also redeems Jace's dialogue-less murder of Victor a few episodes ago. Because at that point, Victor wasn't all robot evil either. He was still looking at things at a very human, emotional level, like Vander, even though his actions with the whole Church of Victor were sort of weird. They kind of each pushed themselves into extremes so that they can arrive at like a much nicer, wholer center. The tragedy of this would be people still dying from the falling robots. Oh, you get a chance to save them now. Oh, do you have to choose? I hope she doesn't have to choose. Oh, no. I was feeling so great, now I'm feeling nervous again. But Vander. This is a minefield. Well, you should do something. You shouldn't just cry.
You can't save him.
Or if you can save him, you should start saving him. Oh, this is terrible. Why is he still like this? I would have thought the effects wore off after Victor released them. Oh.
Always with you, sis.
No, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Don't let go. She just removed the thing. Oh god. Why are we always so close and then disappointed? Why are they so cursed? Ekko! Ekko! Ekko can save us! Like Ekko always saves us.
If I could just lay my head down and rest.
Or maybe Vander can save her.
Maybe death is like falling asleep.
Bringing this song back.
This world is
Don't give up yet.
out of hope. I know it's my
No, it's a red herring. That's obscuring the... It's not real. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. That's just obscured. What?
go, go, go.
No, 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 no. No way. Something happened. I think Vander had a recognition or realization. I don't think that's it. Wow, this is going to be an interesting period for this place. What do you do now? The early choices will be critical.
But history is made palatably abstract. For its truth, the agony of every sacrifice,
It's got to be condensed and simplified so it can be passed.
the exaltation of every triumph. There's more than one should bear.
Oh no.
Will carry them forever.
Get over it after everything we've been through. I didn't see that old lady on the battlefield. What were you doing? Probably eating cheese. Expensive cheese. And not helping.
And though we are doomed to revisit the error of our ways,
It's honest.
spark ever more conflicts,
It will happen. Oh man, this makes you think of Vinland Saga with the crown wanting its own thing. Please don't put the mask on. Though I think she's probably learned. I hope she's learned. It's also disconcerting that they're showing this while Caitlyn's talking about more conflicts. Oh no, what is this? What is this bird and why is it everywhere?
Our story isn't over.
In my experience, birds usually a bad sign. I don't know. I don't think Powder's really gone. Maybe it's denial.
I am the dirt under your nails, Cupcake. Nothing's gonna clean me out.
Don't make me wait for season 3 to see Powder. Well, there was an airship. Wait, no, that can't be it. I don't believe it. I don't want to watch Carry On. There's got to be an end credit scene, right? I've been waiting all this time for Powder to ride her airship. And they showed an airship. As I was waiting for Powder, there's no clue. There's got to be a clue here somewhere. It's a powder blue sky. Is the sky color a hint? Give me something here. Come on, give me something. Give me something. Give me something. What about the crack in the screen? Oh, I don't know. All right, there's no definitive evidence. I'm going to take that to mean what I want it to mean, which is this is her fulfilling her dream that she stated in the first episode, which is definitely there for a reason. And also is like vintage classic RPG formula. I mean, it's basically prophecy. If you dream of riding an airship one day in a RPG or game-like setting, one day you're gonna ride in an airship. It wasn't what I thought it would be. I mean, I thought we'd actually see her in the airship, maybe have a line like, wow, I finally got to ride in an airship. It was the dream I had in my early childhood that I alluded to in episode 1. But you know what? I'm taking it as that. Yeah, I think there's also hints that Vander was going through a thing and having memories, and it was him that had the grip on her. I think Powder lives, and I think she has a fresh start, which is nice, but also kind of a not nice move. She could let Ekko know and bye, but I'll take it. That actually was not a cliffhanger, amazingly. That felt like the end of the story. They absolutely could do more with these characters in universe, but it feels like all the threads have kind of been wrapped up and it's been woven into a complete story, both plot-wise and I think thematically, which is really great. I'm amazed and more than pleasantly surprised, especially when I compare the actual ending of the show and what the show actually was to my conception of what the show was when I first started season 1, where I was very wary of it, the darkness of it, everything is so bleak, and also potentially just because of class warfare, sort of easy out answers that a lot of other stories and movies like to take. The evil rich versus the noble poor. Of course, that fell apart very quickly in season 1 because Solko was anything but noble. Though also I don't think he was poor. He wasn't eating cheese. He wasn't at the pish posh table. Also, I'm really impressed how the show managed to tie all of the different thread lines and plot lines together in a very coherent way, because you had a bunch of different things going on simultaneously. You have kind of the technology question. Is it okay to open Pandora's box on this? What are we really doing this for? And then you had the family struggle and the sisters, and a bigger question of, is there any point to my life? Can I actually make positive changes, or am I just who I am and am I cursed? Is there any hope for the future of your character given major mistakes or massive wrongdoing? But even though Victor and Jace, which I'd say more is on the technological end of that, and Powder Vi, who represent the family side of it, didn't exactly map plot-wise, so they often intersected. They do sort of intertwine into an answer. That being something like, given the disastrous potential that we are well aware of humanity for doing terrible, destructive, self-destructive, useless, wasteful, awful things, that is never the end of the assessment. As long as you are alive, and as long as you have a vision, and as long as you're willing to fight for that vision, you have yourself right now and your choices right now. And not all things are solvable immediately. Some things are never solvable, but you can still live a life, do great things, be a great person. You cannot erase the evil of humanity. I mean, the evil of humanity is a cancerous byproduct of a very healthy cell, which is human existence, living in a very difficult, scarce world in which almost all of animal existence was spent clinging by a thread to life by any means necessary. And that gave birth, somehow, miraculously, to a certain species of animal that developed sort of a layer up of cognition from just immediate survival through evolutionary processes. Because long term, it turns out that not only enhances the species survival, but probably enhances your own survival, and absolutely your genetic survival. And so out of the darkness, out of the horrors of nature, which was not our fault, we start to be able to awaken to and then strive for better things, which I think all told is probably fairly recent in animal history. It's brand new. And with this higher reasoning, this ability for abstract thought, we also can turn an eye to our material situation and try to eliminate the very causes of these base primal urges that we once needed for survival. And now the remaining challenge is to make the most of all that. I would say throughout the course of these 2 seasons, most of the characters come to that in their own way. Victor and Jay sort of beat head to head and finally solve the technology issue. It's like, it's not that technology is bad or humanity is bad. It's that we have to do the right thing with it. There's something so much greater than us, even if that is just humanity as a whole, as opposed to just ourselves individually, that is worth fighting for. And if you have have a very clear lens that is good, I think that has a way of solving for a lot of the, like, what do we do now? What do we do with this problem? Compare that vision, that striving, to like, let's just end humanity. That's just the easy, empty, boring cop-out. Then simultaneously, Powder and Vi. Powder, not really knowing what to believe in, what to look for, who she was, in her final moments, still leans towards self-sacrifice. But like the technology, it's totally different, the self-sacrifice that she's making in that last scene. It's not self-serving, it's not running away, it's not empty, it's not destructive. It's in service of something that she loves, which also is amazing because it speaks to sort of the total forgiveness of her character and everything she may have felt Vi was responsible for. It also is her solving a very dangerous situation successfully, which closes that. I guess also for Vi, it's her letting her sister make her own choice. It's only a short moment and it's played tragically, but there maybe is something in there about her recognizing Powder as, well, Powder. And Vi also expresses at the end there that she will never stop fighting. I don't know what war they're fighting now, but I guess it's the Black Rose people. She will also move forward and not live in despair, hopefully. I mean, I feel like the only person for whom this was an unsatisfying ending is Ekko. My favorite, because in his conception, he's lost Powder. Though he did save her, right? Hopefully he can see it that way. He made all of this possible. Odessa got her closure and recognizing her daughter, also sort of choosing that humanity in the end. Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure what that means at the end. She's staring at the mask. That's kind of disconcerting. As Caitlin states in the monologue, of course, it's not like you go from this to perfection. In fact, very often it will get way worse than we've seen. I think in some way at each point, we're pushing the potential bar. The farthest we've gone bar gets higher and higher. And so it gets easier and easier to get back to. It ends up being a really hopeful, beautiful, optimistic story out of this kind of dark, gritty, hopeless cycle of violent mistakes show that I first anticipated. Also, it occurred to me during the course of the episode, I think I'm confused about what happened to Heimdallr. I thought he also came back with Ekko, but in that scene, they made it seem like he was trying to stay behind, and then he's not here. Did he actually just stay behind to do whatever he was doing with that musical instrument? If so, I mean, I guess I can be happy for him. He was never really about the life. He kind of wanted to just chill and have fun, but it feels a little bit ambiguous to me. Uncle Heimerdinger just sitting out the whole finale. Maddie, also a really nice payoff for like being set up and me having all these theories about her as being someone who's kind of naive and will blindly fall into rhetoric, then kind of just being a side chick as much as she was a side character, but that leading to the twist of her betrayal. Not my focus, and also probably goes without saying, but man, this episode and this season especially, visuals, unbelievable, outstanding, well conceived and animated. Music, hilariously great. The music in the show actually is solid. It's just very, very literal, which I ended up really enjoying. I like it. It was something different and special. Like I said, it feels already like a complete story. Then again, I've grown to really love this world, and I think this team just crushes it. So I don't know what the plans are, but I hope they do more. I would love to see more Arcane. Even if it starts over with different people, different characters, or same characters in a new premise. Whatever the case, they are onto something. And I'll risk the dilution of great source material for the chance at more of this. Thank you to everybody for following the Arcane series over multiple years, amazingly. Thank you to my patrons for making all of these videos possible all the time. Thank you also to those who recently joined the top tier on Patreon. Nervous, and I'm Israel. Thank you to everybody for watching. Love all of you, and see you for the next show.